What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Hannahcast YouTube channel, and today we're going to be reviewing Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Suffice it to say, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is, I would say, the most difficult film Marvel has ever tried to make yet, because they had Black Panther 2 ready to go, and even Ryan Coogler had the script all written, but then, sadly, Chadwick Boseman passed away. And so when your lead star dies like that, when you already have your story, everything written out, that's gonna not only make it hard on you because that's your friend, your colleague, all that stuff. But it's also like, where do we go from here? And that's one thing I will say about this movie that I think really did work, is that you really do miss Chadwick Boseman. The movie does a great job making you feel like the loss. I mean, look, it's been more than 2 years since Boseman's death, but the movie reminds you that it's still a big deal, and it is a big deal. And the grieving process of this film, again, it's just all done so well. It makes you remember the good times you had with him, the sadness that he's gone now. All that stuff is done so well, and especially when carried by Angela Bassett, who I think might give the best performance I've ever seen in an MCU film. Like, some people are saying, could she get an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress? I'd say there's a definite possibility. I mean, everything that's going on in this movie and how she has to carry all of that in the supporting role that she is, it is a very, very strong performance. And again, not an easy performance. And the movie does tie in Chadwick's death into the narrative with the T'Challa character. And again, it's like, it just has this empty feeling in your heart. I liked Black Panther when it first came out, but I didn't initially get all of the hype. And with subsequent rewatches, I feel like Black Panther definitely holds up, aside from the third act's CGI. That was still inexcusable. The MCU definitely had some strong narratives, but Black Panther's was probably the most poignant to date. And I could see why it would have gotten nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars that year, because it was such a poignant moment. Not just because it had, black leads. It was not just because it had a black-led, superhero in it, but that the narrative was just that strong. But oddly enough, I feel like with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, it's almost exactly the opposite. The visual effects, I feel like, have very much well improved over the first film. They definitely learned their mistakes from last time. I don't think this is going to get a Best Visual Effects nomination at the Oscars, but like I said, it is a very strong improvement. But the narrative, I feel like, isn't anywhere near as strong as the first film. Any scene involving T'Challa's death and his, the way everyone grieves over him, all that still works, but it's all the stuff in between that I feel like just doesn't carry a whole lot of weight. Like Namor, who is the ruler of the underwater nation of Talokan. That could have been very fascinating, and there were roots of interesting stuff in there, but ultimately, I just wasn't feeling it. And I can't really explain why. I just couldn't feel the emotion they were really trying to pull off with this character. But ultimately, he just felt like another Marvel bad guy. Albeit a little bit more developed than a lot of other Marvel bad guys, but it's like, when you're coming off of the heels of Killmonger, who was like the epitome of, narrative-driven villains in the MCU, or even with the character Ulysses Claw, who I thought was a very entertaining villain in the first film, albeit for what little screen time he had. Like, those two really did stand out. But with Namor in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, I feel like I get what they were trying to do, but I just didn't feel it. I wasn't feeling the turmoil. I wasn't feeling the depth. There's the character Riri Williams, and yeah, she does have a part to play in all this, but ultimately, and this isn't really a spoiler because we saw this in the trailers, that she's Ironheart. I don't, I, for some reason, again, that just kind of sucked out a lot of the more grounded stuff in this film. And yeah, we are talking about a movie that takes place in the sci-fi nation of Wakanda, but at the same time, when Riri Williams is doing like her Ironheart stuff, especially around the third act, I'm just like, this looks goofy. This just looks too goofy for this kind of film. And there are some characters, like Nakia, for example, where I thought she was one of the standouts in the first Black Panther, and she's just kind of cast off to the side in this film. And what makes it even stranger is that she has a very interesting story arc in this film. And her part to play in, the loss of T'Challa, again, it's fascinating. I want to know more about that. But we gotta make room for Riri Williams. We gotta make room for Namor. Or the very, I don't know. It's just, for some reason, the narrative in this film is just kind of all over the place. You have this really strong narrative revolving around the loss of T'Challa, but at the same time, you have all these other pieces in the film that I don't know if they go well with this story. And granted, I'm not going to give any spoilers as to who it is, but when we find out who is under that Black Panther suit that we've been seeing in the trailers, it doesn't feel earned. Nothing about what we saw in not only this film, but all the other films in, what this character was in the MCU, nothing felt like that this would be the next logical step for this character. And that's probably one of the biggest issues I have with this film is that, again, with this person under the Black Panther suit, there's no reason for this character to be Black Panther. They're completely unqualified in every way, shape, or form. And the worst part is that they could have had an out. Because, there is a part of this movie where it says 1 year later, and I'm like, okay, so maybe when we see this character, they're gonna do this, and this, and this. And because when you have a time jump like that, you could excuse that. But they don't do that. It's very obvious what this character's been doing over the past year. And it's when they become Black Panther, it's really? It doesn't make any sense. And it's really sad to say, but I don't think Black Panther Wakanda Forever works all that well. And look, like I said, this is undoubtedly the most difficult film Marvel has ever tried to make thus far. And look, when you're taking a swing as hard as this, there is a big chance that it's not gonna work. For a lot of people, it does seem to work. But for me, it doesn't. I'll probably go into more detail in terms of spoilers on Saturday or Sunday. I'll probably let you guys know in the community tab. But the question is, what did you think about Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Thank you so much for watching. And, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button because it helps the algorithm, and hit that bell icon so you can be notified of future videos and live streams. And if you want to see more, click this.